Hello, viewers from all around the world. This is the Melting Pot, and I am your host, Izo. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're welcome to the show. On the show today, I am not alone. I'm joined by my soul sister, all the way from Ontario. Savi is her name. Hi, Savi, how are you?
I'm fine. Hello, sister. How you doing today?
Yeah, that's why I called you soul sister because I knew you were going to say it in a stylish way. How's your week
You
been?
know. Oh, good, good, good. The week has been great. The weather has been, today is cold. The following day is looking like we're in pre-summer, but it's been good. It's cool. We are here for it, right? We are glad that is. We are looking forward to spring. And Toronto is
Yeah,
cool.
hopefully, for
Yeah.
those of us here in Saskatoon, spring will start early. I hope last week we had a blizzard. Today we
Oh my
are
goodness.
having warmer temperatures, so all that snow that fell has suddenly turned to slush. So the whole place is all slushy. And if you're walking on the
Yeah.
sidewalk, you have to be careful so that nobody splashes water on you. But that's life in the North Pole. One moment is very
Yeah,
cold, the other moment you're like, what is happening here? But we're happy. You
I
you take
know.
you roll
I
with the
know.
punches, and that's just how it is.
I know.
So,
So unpredictable.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We want to give a special shout out to all our sisters that are not here right now. AY, Osas, my miss Amem. And there's another person in chess. I don't think you've met in chess, but one of these days you will.
No.
We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we will have the other news. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, and thank you for joining us. This is the other news. I am Izo Edetanen. On the other news today, Canadian bank landscape faces major shift amid high fees and slow adoption. As the federal government pushes to reduce bank fees, a report from consultancy firm Not Economics reveals that Canadians are overpaying by billions of dollars a year. The report compared fees at the Canadian Big Five banks with those in the UK and Australia, showing that Canadians pay much more for their bank accounts and various fees. The report found that Canada's five biggest banks had 7.7 billion in excess income. The number works out to about 250 Canadian dollars per Canadian. Despite efforts to improve low-cost banking options and lower fees, Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland initiative has yet to gain momentum. Canadian banks charge significantly higher fees for services such as non-sufficient funds and overdraft protection compared to banks in the UK and Australia. This disparity in fees reflects a lack of regulatory measures in Canada to promote competition and enhance consumer choice. Saskatchewan minister faces scrutiny over Paris sighting during work trip. Saskatchewan opposition has criticized a cabinet minister, Dustin Dolcan, for alleged using public funds to tour Paris landmark during a Napoleon bomb during a work trip to attend a nuclear energy conference. Minister Dustin Dolcan, responsible for the province's natural gas utility, denied the allegation, insisting that the trip was primarily business related. However, invoices revealed that he billed taxpayers approximately $3,500 for a chauffeur to navigate the city while he was supposed to be at the conference. The controversy has ignited debates about the appropriate use of public funds and raised questions about accountability in government, travel expenditures, and so on. The controversy arises amid ongoing tension between Ottawa and Saskatchewan over the province's refusal to remit the carbon levies. That concludes the other news for today. We are wishing women all over the world a happy Mother's Day. We'll go on a short break and we will be right back. Welcome back. So before we dive into all the nitty-gritty details of the other news, we'd like to let our viewers know that our lines are open. I want to believe you know the numbers by now, but just in case you don't know the numbers, it will be shown on the screen, and we are also soliciting that you call. We love it when you call. And you can comment on our YouTube. Yeah, I have to say this. Those that comment on the YouTube handles, big ups to you, because that's always so lively. So we want the calls to pick up as well. And to be part of the family, remember you have to subscribe to the channel, like and comment, and we would want to hear what you have to say. So Savvy, you heard all the news. What's your take?
Yes. Well, concerning the first one about the bank fees, yeah, I think it's a bit high, right? And I also think is ridiculous for, maybe I don't have any amount, I don't my bank account is not funded, and you debit me for something I don't have the money, are still charging me again. Like, make it make sense. Somebody does not have money, and you keep charging the person interest. Where do you want the person to get the money? Then the fees on credit cards and all those, oh my God, they are just ridiculous. I know that the banking business is not a charity, but they could just like borrow from their counterparts in other countries in North America or even Europe and see
Mhm.
what they are doing right. Right. So the fees can be outrageous sometimes. I agree. But
Yeah,
of course, I know
I
we
totally
I know we
agree too.
have I know we have I know we have bank accounts that you don't really need to pay charges or something. So other people could look into that. We are not here to promote banking business, but ultimately the banks, they need to do better.
Yeah, I agree. I have a friend that they came and then afterwards they went back to Nigeria. But as because since they stayed with us, they used our address as their address, and we get monthly mail. And every time he would say, open it, let's see. He hasn't used that account for some years now, but they keep charging him some ridiculous fees. So he's like, what's happening? I'm not even using that account. And why am I being charged? So if the banking system in Canada, if they can look into that, that would be great. I remember when we first came, because it depends on your payment schedule. Sometimes people get paid on the 15th of the month, whereas some people get paid every fortnight. So if you're paid 15th of the month and 30th, at least there's some rhythm to it. But if you paid every fortnight and you have payments that go out your account on a certain day of the month, you can find yourself in a tight corner. So I was like, the very first time I saw an NSF on my account, I was like, what is this?
You
And
get,
I
I'm
had to
like,
call the bank. Yeah, I had to call the bank and they explained. And I was like, oh, okay. So we had to be mindful of it. But I think the Canadian banks can do better, especially when parts are doing a lot better. Because 250 per person. Yeah, uh, exactly. So if we can do better, yeah, we
yeah,
have.
yeah.
I think they said 7.73
They
billion
made
in excess.
7.7 billion in excess. That's
Can you
that's a
imagine
lot of
that?
money.
If
That is
they
a
share
lot
all
of
that
money.
money, it's more than. I'll be very
I
happy to have a check
know.
in the
I
mail, though.
will. I will. The first time I had an
After all,
NSF, I called the bank and I said, okay. They said, oh, so we'll be charging you for this on the 30th of so. So I said, no, please, can you make it either the last working day or the first working days? I think they should be having conversations with their customers so that the billing
Yeah,
time
totally.
will coincide with when the account will be funded, right? You are
Totally.
charging me for something, my account is now, you're now debiting me again. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. And
And I
eventually,
don't
when
play
you
with my
get the
money.
money, you will still pay. It's not as if they will take that
Yes.
NSF from the payment. You still pay
Mm-hmm.
the full
Mm-hmm.
payment. So that's why they
Yeah.
have 7.73 billion. They should cut us a
It's a
check.
lot of money.
As long as
It's a
you're in
lot of
Canada,
money.
you should get like $1,000
I
free check.
know, I know, I know. And
That
concerning
would
the
be great, wouldn't it?
Saskatchewan,
Yeah.
I off to come Amazon. Immediately I get that, I'm going to Amazon straight. Amazon has got me.
I know you want to chime in on the second other news, so let me let you go.
Yeah, yes. So, I'm not sure. Did this happen when was supposed to be at this summit? If yes, then that's probably not a good idea. What I do know is, seriously, when you go for a business summit of any kind, even if it's not being sponsored by the government, even if it's being sponsored by your organization, if you want to, exactly, why did he have it? No, opposition party also had an opinion about it. Why did he take a taxi? Why did he ride a bicycle? Anything to cut costs when you are using the company's money or the
Come on
government's
now,
money.
Savvy.
If
Come
you
on.
want to
That you
do
should ride a
no,
bicycle?
well,
Really?
according to the opposition, according to the opposition party,
Really?
if you want to do anything personal, then that's to be with your fund. I do know that being said, I know that we have permissible expenses, so maybe it's part of permissible expenses. But from my experience, when I go for business traveling, maybe it's from Monday to Friday, then whatever it is, and we are going back on Sunday, whatever it is I do between Friday and Sunday is going to be on my bill. I'm not going to charge it to the company, to the client, because I'm not doing the client's work, right? So, but we don't know the nuances of this. We don't know if, and they even said that it was when that summit was going on, like the summit was going on at 2, and our dear representative was busy gallivanting
He
all
was
over
driving around
Paris, looking at
town.
all the. But we don't know. We really don't know. But it's just
Yeah,
so
so
funny,
the
right?
thing is, I the thing is, I think that him doing it during the time when he's supposed to be in the conference is totally wrong. The
All
opposition
shades of
party, I
wrong.
also think, is trying to score points because what's to tell that they won't do the same when they get there. And
Yeah.
then again, because of the way Canada takes their taxpayers' money very seriously, this is an issue. Another place where nobody would ask if, as a matter of fact, he probably would jet off from that country and find he's supposed to be in some summit in Paris and he's in Dubai lounging somewhere. But it's all good. I think the Saskatchewan party needs to do better because there's a lot of accountability here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll wrap it up for the other news. Viewers at home would like to hear your thoughts. You call in on our lines or drop your comment. We'll go on a short break and then we'll come back. We'll be getting some relationship tips. Don't, she has been serving it hot. Don't go anywhere. You would
Don't
really,
go anywhere.
really enjoy it. We'll go on a short
Yeah.
break and we'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Bukola Odefiago. I'm a certified relationship coach, enriching marriages and strengthening relationships through my platform, IAS Love Heaven. I'm popularly known as IAS, the coach next door. So, on this segment of IBIS Love Corner, I'm going to be talking about the disheartening high rate of divorce cases in the African community. Yes, so pathetic. I know you probably would have seen one or two, or probably read or heard about one or two. Yes, it's happening at a very, very fast and high rate. Well, do you know that most of those divorces were initiated by the wives? Do you also know that it was mostly caused by resentment from wives? Yes, accumulations of pain, endurance, abuse, domestic abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse. Yes. And the moment they relocate abroad, they leave that African community where they feel their interests will not be protected. The moment they go abroad where they think the women are more empowered, they have a structure in place that would listen to them, they just want to fight back. And I'm not saying that all of these women that are leaving their husbands are mostly by abuse. We have some of them too who were never abused. As a matter of fact, they have wonderful husbands. Wonderful husbands, but they just want to be free. Or maybe they have been badly influenced by friends, by marriage destroyers. Exactly. We have this cases is not just a one-way traffic. We have the ones that were never abused, and we have the ones that have been abused, and this is just an opportunity for them to fight back. You can agree with me that a well-cultured woman will not just wake up one day and think that I think I'm tired of this marriage, I just want to leave. No. If you listen to stories, then you will know what I'm talking about. As a husband, if all of this thing that I have listed are the things that you have done to your wife in the past, or maybe you are still doing it to your wife right now, my brother, Egbomi, it will not work. You better stop. You better stop. It will not work. We can only work together to create a healthy environment for ourselves, and most especially those precious ones, those children that we are bringing into this world. We are being named African communities. We are no longer staying. That is what they call us. I listen to pathetic stories and I'm like, what exactly is going on? It is not easy out there. If you leave a marriage and you're going into another one, do you even know who you're going to meet? You are starting all over again. Why can't you become a better person for this person that you so want so badly? Why can't I adjust? Women just need you to make an effort. And we have good husbands too who just need their woman to understand that, hey, I'm just trying my best. Understand it. Accept me this way. What am I saying in essence? Some of the things that we think we can do to the wives back home, where we're coming from, cheat on them, maltreat them, and nothing is going to happen. A lot will happen here if you do not adjust yourself. In conclusion, please stay with your marriage, work on your marriage, become a better person for yourself, for your children, for your spouse, so that we can create a healthy environment. Remember that you can contact me. My shoulders are broad. You are safe with me. If you need a personal coaching with me, click on the link in my bio, IAS Love Heaven, and book a session with me, and let's talk. You have a blessed day. Bye for now. Bye.
Oh, thank you, IAS Love Heaven, for always picking those subject matter that they drive straight to the heart. Now, I was walking through the streets of the social media space and I saw this video that ties very well into what IAS was talking about. We would show that video shortly to our viewers because it kind of elaborates all she was saying about how if there's things wrong in the home, if duties are not shared, if responsibilities are not taken, the home dynamics can just shatter and become something else. So we're going to take that video, and then when we come back, we'll talk about IAS and then the one you're going to be watching shortly. The video is on cue right now.
For my life, in Nigeria, you're going to tell me to do that. Here, I will still make you breakfast, still make you lunch, still make you dinner.
If I'm in Nigeria, you're going to
help people to sweep the house.
don't tell the children.
You don't. I don't have my children. So
don't you have children? They're children. You want me to come and do what you want?
Hurry up and go. I don't know what
to go. You have a plan B. You have a plan now. You have a plan B. That's why you said you have the God to tell me to hurry up. You are telling me to hurry up. Yes. I'll go hurry up. You go try down your plan B. Make it start to be. You go try down your plan B. Don't worry. I'm leaving. Don't worry. Let me go grab it.
Yes, get out. Only to make fish you cannot make. Cook rice you cannot cook rice. Every little thing they say do you cannot do. Every time you are complaining. You will carry title ship all the way from Nigeria. You come to Canada with title ship. You will not support your wife. Are you not looking at your mates? Are you not looking at your mates? The way they help their wife. No, you be bragging. Now, come for Mariaka. You need a chicken to do it.
No problem.
People go there out bed.
No problem.
Yes. No, and you want all of us to share everything 50-50.
But I want to share it. Are we not working?
But you can.
Are we not working?
But you cannot help in the house.
Are we not working?
And you will not help in the house. You
are we not working?
Yeah, I'm
not supposed to do what you do everything for you.
Okay, I'm working. Are you not working too? Why can't you help? Why can't you help and cook and do all that?
Why can't I help and cook? I'm supposed to do that.
So, viewers, I would have loved to tell you that that was a skit, but the truth is, it's not a skit. That happened real time and real life, and it's really sad, really sad. Sabi, I would like to hear your take first before I say what I have to say. What do you think about both videos?
Yeah, it's so depressing when you see the breakup of marriages, particularly a marriage that appears to be doing really well, but when they get to Canada, I find out there are breakups. What I've discovered is, so even right from Nigeria, they were not really doing well, but because there were a lot of support and everything, the cracks were not obvious, right? But so coming to Canada, no support system, nobody to like weigh in and everything. The cracks are now so wide. You can see both your faults and everything, and it's just so sad. It's so sad, and I really think that both spouses, husband and wife, they really need to support each other. This place is difficult, right? Doing life here is kind of difficult, trying to adjust, and marriage is hard work, right? But it's sweet if you have the right and supportive partner. If the other person is supportive, and doesn't think there's a gender specific role that this is what you're supposed to be doing, this is what I can't do, this I can't do that, we need to pitch in. Everybody needs to be responsible, right? All hands will be on deck for the marriage to be successful. But it really pains me, right? Because it's true. I've seen a lot of divorces, some separations in the African community, and I'm always wondering, why is it that is when we get to Canada, why? And personally, this is what I believe. I believe that is even when you get to Canada, they are supposed to be very close. They're supposed to
be closer and work as a unit.
Yeah. Yes, they're supposed to be more intimate because there's no outside force. Like this outside interference is to the barest minimum, right? So this is when you're supposed to like be really close as a family unit, but that's not always the case, and it's just so
okay.
Just so sad.
Sorry, Sabi, our viewers are itching to chime in, so we have a call. Hello, you're welcome to the Melting Pot. May we know your name, please?
Hello, my name is Suzanne. Hi.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hello, Suzanne. How you doing?
I'm good. You guys are doing a wonderful job. I'm enjoying your show. This show is really a must-watch every week. I really love listening to you guys. Thank you, Izor. Thank you,
Suzanne.
Sabi. You guys are doing great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just want to add my point regarding the IB's discussion on divorce. It's just so unfortunate that the high rate of divorce in Western world, not only in the Black community, right, but I feel generally in the Western world is really, really high. And it's because it's just a norm. If you can't stick to it, if you don't like it, if it's not working with you anymore, then you move out, right? And it's just because divorce is not, it's a bit foreign to our culture. That is why we feel it's a high rate. It's the white Western world, they have always been divorcing. They could marry today and divorce within a week. They don't see it as if I've done something really great, really bad. It's just I have to look out for myself first, regardless of whatever reason. So, in my own opinion, I think I will say it's not because the woman is in a new environment thinking that she can, now boss her husband around or anything. Some people are really going through a lot. And I feel that African men, like the skit or whatever we just watched, I think it might be a skit. Whether it's a skit or not, it's just the reality that happens in many homes right now. Most men just feel they don't want to be, they don't want to help at home. They don't want to contribute to anybody's, to the home, function. A lot of men do, actually, but there are a lot of men too that still don't do. And just like the man said, am I not working? Don't you have your kids? So because I have the children, do you know how much it takes to even get children to even help you equally? Because they are not adults yet. So they don't want to take up that responsibility fully. So I think that generally our men, in my own opinion, should do a whole lot better. I know there are a lot of women too that maybe on their own, they have their own issues. Maybe they just fell out of love with a man, or maybe just like she said, they are following bad advices, so they might decide to start, feeling irritated with the man. But generally, I think our men mostly need to do better. They should dish that African man mentality. I'm an African man. I can't sweep. I can't pick up a broom. I can't mop the floor. And they should dish that mentality and rise up to the occasion. We are now in a new place, and everybody needs help, support, financially, emotionally, home-wise. So that is my own take. I want to advise our men to do a whole lot better. And if we have women there that are being troublesome with your husband unnecessarily, then you have to curb it. Calling your husband names, insulting your husband just because you want to prove a point, I think it's a no-no. I completely discourage such. Nobody should insult anybody. Disagreement shouldn't result to insulting one another, and that is one of the problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. A lot of wonderful suggestions, observations, and advice you have given. Thank you for calling. We appreciate your kind words about the show. Bye for now. Okay, wow. There's so much to unpack from what she said. But you see, from the video, there was something that when the woman said it, immediately I started laughing. She said, title ship. So from that video that we watched about the husband and wife that were going at each other, this is my view. Back in Nigeria, there were men that were helping their wives. So it has nothing to do with Canada. It has a lot to do with the personality of the man. Because even back home in Nigeria, there were men that enter the kitchen to cook for their wives. There are men that sweep the house, whether mother-in-law is there or not, whether family is there or not, because they see that this is my home. I have to put some effort into it. They might not do it every day, but they do it nonetheless. So, like you said, if there wasn't a crack coming from wherever, it will not show here. So there was a crack coming from Nigeria or whichever African country now, because I don't think this thing is specific to Nigeria, and I also don't think it's specific to Africa. Now, I know that people say that the Indian community, they don't have a high rate of divorce, but I don't have that on good statistics. But for the Caucasian family, it is a given. Work is shared in that sphere. They don't say, I remember I remember one day we're having a conversation in the office and we're talking about cooking and cleaning. And one of my colleagues said that while she's cooking, all she has to do, she's Caucasian, by the way. She said while she's cooking, all she has to do is give her husband a look, and he immediately starts doing the dishes. So the man knows that I cook, you do the dishes. Another one was saying that ever since she got married, that she's not so good with cooking. So the husband does the cooking and then she does the cleaning. So it is well spelled out from the get-go, at least in the Caucasian community. But in our own community, apart from the fact that there might be an understanding between the spouses, there is also the filter of culture. What will my in-laws say? And so on and so forth. So, viewers, we want to hear your take. We want to, you can drop your comment on our YouTube handles. Sabi, maybe intermittently you just check and see what's there so that we can have a more
Yeah.
robust conversation. But to what Susan said, if based on what IB said is there's a high degree now, then I personally believe that the men should rise up. Because if that video is anything to go by, the man clearly didn't want to do anything. Now, I would not say that he is all to blame because I think the way the woman spoke to him also was not right. Because again, whether we want to admit it or not, men have ego.
Yeah.
And sometimes a man, even though a man knows that clearly what he's doing is not the right way, because his ego has been bruised, he would rather, like, okay, let everything go up in flames than for me to do that. Because she was saying they will tell you to cook rice, you will not cook. They will tell you, this is not gringori now.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's
So
not your house boy. So
looking
the
at that.
manner of approach also matters.
True. Yes, true. I agree. See, everything is about communication. Communication is important. And I also noticed that the husband said, "Oh, don't you have kids and all that?" So we really don't know if maybe they have grown up children that are supposed to be doing some specific chores, right? So I know that I saw one grid a long time ago about age appropriate house chores, right? Everyone
Yeah,
should be responsible. And at the same time, we need to be careful that we are not engaging in child labor unconsciously.
exactly.
Coming from Africa, the firstborn is like the assistant, actually the firstborn is a lady, and that's like the assistant mommy. We put so much
Mhm,
burden on the first child, like
mhm,
is the
mhm,
assistant
mhm.
parents for the younger ones. So we need to be careful as well. So I don't know what this man meant by saying don't you have children. Is it that they have grown up children that should have been also supporting in the house, or he expected that even as young? Because I even saw, did you, if you notice, there was a young child in front of him, and I think that's kind of more
Mhm, mhm.
traumatic. Both of them having that engaging
In
in
front of the
such
child, that's
verbal
not
in front
good.
of the child. They are not laying a good example of what a marriage should be, right? And that's why some kids will say, "Oh, they are so traumatized. They didn't have a good upbringing. Their parents failed them." It's full of stuff like this. So we really don't know. But if we have children that are of certain age, then I believe there should be age specific chores, like loading the dishwasher, you know,
Mhm.
removing the clothes from the washing machine, folding clothes, little things to support everyone. Like ultimately, everyone needs to be responsible in the house, and the man needs to understand that this is Canada. You can't only be a provider. No, that's not going to work. You can't only be a provider and think that, oh, after
Okay,
all, I'm
so let
bringing
me
money.
ask you this question. When you are
Mm-hmm.
done, are you done? I'm notorious for
No,
interrupting people, so
no, it's fine.
bear
It's
with
fine. Go
me.
ahead.
So I think a few episodes ago we talked about sex timetable. Now I'm not going that way. I'm saying that since we advocate that there should be a sex timetable, do you think having a chore timetable would help a couple where the man and the woman they come together and say, okay, we have this, that to do in the house. You take this, I take this. We have a timetable and we go by the timetable. If one of us defaults, then there should be a penalty. Do you think that will solve all of this?
Honestly, it's been known to work, that approach. I know a family that does that. The wife will say, okay, if I'm the one cooking, then the husband will be the one to be washing the bathroom or something. So it's okay to have a conversation and assign responsibilities, right? So
Exactly.
that way, both of you know what is expected of you. Am I the one
Mm-hmm.
that's going to take out the garbage? so that we just don't leave the garbage there to be piling up. Who is going to take the garbage out? So I think I'm big about communication. I personally, I like us to converse. Let's talk about it.
My
And I
apologies,
don't.
Sabi. I'm going to interrupt you again. We have a call.
Oh,
Hello,
that's
caller.
good. That's why we
Welcome
are
to the
here.
melting pot. I know who I'm speaking with.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. My name is Bumi.
Hi, Bumi. How are you?
Hi.
Do you want to tell
Hi.
us where you're calling from?
Bumi. I'm calling from Saskatoon.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Bumi. You have 60 seconds.
Hi. Okay. Quick one. I just want to say that couples should always communicate. Communication is very important in marriage. I mean, the man should always, we should be able to have a time in homes where the husband and the wife come together and discuss what are our differences, what is making us quarrel, and there should be mutual respect and communication. I think it is where there's no respect most times that there's a breakdown in communication, and this one is not listening to the other person, and then there's a fight, because there could be anything that can cause fight, not only home chores. Sometimes it could be sex, sometimes it could be finances. So sometimes, there's no communication. Like last week, I listened to you people, you talked about how CCB causes problem in marriages. So the most important thing in most homes is communication. I feel that couples should communicate more. They should develop a timetable or a schedule or a system where they will communicate. It's not too much for them to even take 2 days off, go to a hotel, spend time together so that they can vent and resolve issues. I think there's no perfect home and there's no perfect marriage. But everybody's working on their own. So I want to advise couples too that to reduce rate of divorce, communication is very, very important. The husband should listen to the wife, and the wife too should be calm so that she can understand whatever the husband is trying to pass across.
Totally.
You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Wonderful.
I'm enjoying your
Thank
series
you.
so much.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thanks for calling. So Bumi touched on something that I think we haven't really, I don't know the word to use. So everybody's talking about communication, but she added something to it. She said the communication should have a pattern. So we as ladies, at least I know that happens to me, there are certain times when we kind of give non-verbal communication. So we are expecting something from our husband, but we don't voice it out. We don't say it in clear words. Okay, so we have another call. Our lights are buzzing today. Yay! Okay, caller, you're welcome to the melting pot. May we know you.
Hi, my name is Olivia. I'm calling
Hi,
from
Olivia. How are
Regina.
you?
How are
Hi,
you?
Oh,
Olivia.
hi, Regina.
Hi. So, just to chime in a little of my thought on today's conversation, right? As regards communication and divorce rates in African home. So I think something we didn't have back home. I think we need to start looking at couples sharing their problems with maybe going to look for help, professional help.
Right.
These are
Yes, like
facilities
therapy.
that, being in the system where we are now, we have these resources to be able to, we have this help available to help couples. There are gaps in marriages that even the couples didn't know back home. But here, coming here, you have resources to show you. You have help, people who are here to provide you support, to bridge the gaps, to talk about the things, get to the root cause of what the problem is. Maybe if we start looking at this and start looking at this help, or start, I don't know how to say it, but start taking the help that has been provided, it would help curb the rate of divorce issues that we still see cropping up in our society today. This is just my opinion. You guys are
Totally.
doing so well. I
Thank
love
you,
the
Olivia.
Thank you.
show.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
All
wow.
right then.
Yes. So Olivia and Bumi has said two things that are just wonderful. So Bumi talked about having a pattern with your conversation. So I think, and I don't know if couples do this enough, where they should periodically review their marriage. Like she said, it doesn't have, you can maybe say, oh, okay, if your kids are not that young, and then if you have a way to go around it, you take like a day and just go somewhere, both of you have it like a date night, but the date night is not only for lovey-dovey. We now sit down and talk. I know
Yeah.
men don't like it when women say we need to talk. Now, I would is it true that once a woman tells a man we need to talk, they'll say, what have I done now? But what I'm saying is, if they have it like, oh, every quarter we are going to review the state of our marriage, our relationship. Am I communicating? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Because sometimes the way you say it and what he heard is not the same. So
Yeah.
they review all that styles of communication, and it should be verbal. And the woman has to also promise that she would not play emotional blackmail. I know I'm a woman, I've done it before, where you use tears because it's like you're not winning the argument. It's the truth now. Let's call it as it is. You are not winning the argument, then you switch over to tears, and then the man is confused. And then the man should not use titleship, because some men use it too, because they don't want to talk about the matter. So they shout and they threaten and they make you feel uncomfortable. And then the conversation just fizzles out and dissolves into chaos. So they both have to have, I don't know if I will call it memorandum of agreement, that it's going to be like a business meeting. No crying, no shouting, but we are going to talk as a family and find
Yes.
a solution to
To
solving the
this.
issue in our home. And then if that doesn't work, you move to phase 2, wherein you bring a third party, like because that's another thing in our communities. Not people don't believe in using a marriage counselor. Sometimes you need a fresh eye, somebody that is not biased by family, religion, or whatever, that can stand as a fresh eye or as a third party professionally to critically look at the issues in the house and objectively tell the spouses that this is the gap, this is how to solve it. That's what
Yeah.
I think we need to do.
Yeah.
Is there any
Yeah.
comments
Honestly.
on our YouTube
And
handle?
no comments yet. No
Okay, okay.
comments yet.
So
And
go on, Savi.
sincerely, I agree with both of them. So I believe that communication, there should be a pattern. You should be able to recognize the way your spouses like to communicate. For example, let me be kind of personal. For me, I don't really like talking. I don't like face-to-face communication. I prefer less chats or email or something like that. But my husband, he loves to talk. Want us to talk about the issue. Let's talk about that result. But me, I'll send you an email, make it very official. You say, this is like you are someone. It's like I'm receiving an email from I'm receiving someone from the school principal. Like done something wrong. So you need to understand. So now we try to find a balance. I
Yeah.
If I have any grievance, I will send it via email or WhatsApp or message. Then if he wants to respond, he'll come and meet me. This night it's not like that though. This. So we find a way to
Mm-hmm.
just find a way to balance each other out. Then Bukola said something, our last caller. Or is it Olivia? No, I think it's Bukola from Regina.
Olivia was the last caller.
Olivia from Regina. She spoke
Mm-hmm.
about like therapy, getting the outside. Yes, I'm an advocate of therapy. I think therapy is good. Like one of my sisters will say, she said that she will tell you that talking is therapy. Sometimes all you need is
Mm-hmm.
just to talk. And even when you are talking, listening to yourself, you'll be able to piece out the information, you'll be able to flesh it out. Oh, okay, this is where I've
Mm-hmm.
gone wrong. When you go and meet a therapist, they don't necessarily give you answers, but they
Mm-hmm.
listen to you and try to guide you to find that
Yeah.
solution. So while talking, you yourself, you have a rethink. Oh, this thing that I've said, did I say it to make it better? Or did I say it because I just want to hurt the other person? As in, did I say it because
Mm-hmm.
I want something to be better? Or so you are able to introspect and act better. So I'm an advocate for therapy. If you need therapy, please, by all means, please go for it. Find a way to communicate with your better half, with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is very, very important. You talk about nothing is off the table. Talk about money, talk about the other room, talk about, we are
Mm-hmm.
feeling attracted. We are feeling attracted to another person. There's nothing should be off the table, right? This is the person you've signed up to do life with. So you should be able to talk about anything, right?
Yeah,
That's just my
totally. So I would
yeah.
go back to something that during the video we watched where the man said, "Don't you have kids?" Now, a bit of background. So back in Nigeria, I know that um, I think I started washing plate when I was 6 years old. So you would have to climb on a stool and wash plate and do all those things. Now, are we that's doing the dishes and sweeping the house and they start early. Now I know that in Canada there's this caveat about child labor and stuff, but are we now saying that we would drop all those things and not bring our kids into home chores? Because is that what he was reflecting when he said, "Don't you have kids?" What do you think it's appropriate that way? Or I also think that again it's down to not working together as a unit, because the point that he said, let's say maybe like the wife was saying, they'll tell you to boil rice, you cannot boil. So if you probably don't want to boil it, you can tell your daughter or your son, if he's old enough, oh, put the pot on the fire. Two of us will do this. In that way, the woman will that he's helping, and the child will also learn how to do maybe one of these home chores. So where is I think the question I'm asking is, where is that fine line between teaching your children how to do home chores and child labor? Where do we draw that fine line? Is there
Well,
an age, or you just
I think it's by having age specific rules, right? It's by not asking a, an 8 year old to make moi moi or stuff like that. The 8 year old may probably be able to load the dishwasher, stuff like that, little things. So I think it's about finding the age appropriate house chores. So everyone needs to be responsible. You need to have something you
exactly?
are doing. With a family unit, we all have our roles. We all have to contribute to the
Mm-hmm.
success of the family,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that mommy does not get
Mm-hmm.
tired, that does not get tired. Everyone is doing something.
Exactly, exactly. So, viewers, I'm throwing that question to you. Where is the fine line between teaching your kids how to do chores and child labor? We need to know, because the man said, "Don't you have kids?" Like, and she was talking about boiling rice. So where's that? Where do you where do you draw the line so that you can still? And again, sometimes I think all of these things can be projection, because if we want to say it as it is, coming to a new country, there are a lot of stressors.
Yes.
Or maybe the woman before had help, maids doing stuff for her. Now she's doing it all alone. So she's already angry, she's tired, she's stressed out. So she's projecting that anger on the husband. Now, maybe the husband was in some high job back in Nigeria and comes here and is probably working in lower than where he was. So he's angry. The so called utopia that we thought we're coming to meet, yeah, there's steady power, but then it's not also easy. So that annoyance can also be why he's projecting anger to the wife as well. So, viewers, we really want to hear, what's your take? Where's the fine line? Where do we draw the balance? And what are the suggestions that you can give to help families move beyond this kind of squabble and, live happily? Because I think if a unit as a family unit works well, oh, it's such a beautiful thing.
Yes, it
It is
is.
such a beautiful. I was in a
It is.
place today where I saw a couple. Now these are Caucasians, and the divorce thing is higher in the Caucasian crowd, but they've been married for about 48 years, and the man still has a pet name for the wife. And he was just talking, and then he would talk about her. And then he said there was a time they were away, and all he could think, he was calling the wife's name, all he could think was wife, wife. I was like, after 48 years, you are still this tight? Oh, ma,
Yeah.
prayer. So
That's
I
nice.
had
That's
to
nice. That's nice
connect
to see.
because, yeah,
Yeah.
so a lot
It's
of
nice to
work
see.
goes into it from both parties, I think.
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
view. Okay, so we would still anticipate your calls and your comments, but we're going to go on a short break. And then when we come back, Savvy will be handling the last segment, which is what do I do? We'll go on a short break and we will be right back.
Hi, welcome once again. It's good to be here on this segment. What do I do? So this is segment where oh okay.
Go.
Hi, Kola. Good evening. How you doing today? What's your name and where you calling from?
Good evening. My name is Eniola. I'm calling from. Um, sorry, I'm using two phones.
Oh, okay, no worries. So
I'm trying
welcome
to I'm trying to use the phone to call in and then another phone to listen, but
to listen
I've
in.
stopped it.
Oh, okay. Oh, no problem. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Woodstock in Ontario.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. What do you have to what do you have to say to us on this program? We have 60 seconds. Do you have any comment on what we've shared so far?
Yeah, well, like the house chores thing, I think it's gonna be um a unit, a family unit here, and we don't really have the help, the maid like we used to have in Nigeria, where there'll be a nanny, there'll be a maid, and everybody is helping you out. But here it's you and your husband, and God bless you, you have little children who can't even join in the chores yet, so you guys would have to, figure it out yourselves. And I think it's about helping each other and not seeing it as it is your role. Oh, is it not women that cook? Is it not women that clean? Is it not women that does child what's it called, preparation and all of that? It's a unit. It's together. We are in this together, and like Savi was saying that um, you have to talk everything about with your spouse. So I think it's also very good to be open with your communication. Sweetheart, I need your help with this. I need your help with that, and being able to just do things together. I think that's my
Yeah.
opinion about it, especially here in Canada.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And that is what we believe as well. We are an advocate of, seeking help. We don't pull it on. If you need help, please speak out.
Yeah.
This our spouses, they are not assistant Holy Spirit, they are not able to read minds, they don't have all these superpowers. So if you need help, please just speak out. So thank you so much for calling, Kola. Have a great evening. And on that note, we take you back to what do I do?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have this like this person asking for help. Is Now I'm just going to read it. Oh, this person is asking, how can one buy a respect back from her husband? Like, you don't see me finish. I've lost value in his face. He's clearly not scared of losing me. He's not jealous. If he finds my shop locked, he will never question my whereabouts. He can stay hours without checking on me. On the contrary, I'm the type that wants to know everything about my partner, his business, his friends, who he meets, and all that. After my daily hustle, I don't have anyone to gist with or tell how my day went. It's choking. It provides for the family. How can I regain my self worth? The thing is affecting my confidence. What do I do? Isa, what do you
Hmm.
think? What do you think these questions should do?
So a lot are running in my head. The first question is, in the beginning, was it so? If it was so from the go, then it will be very difficult because that's the man you
Mm,
married. There are some men
yes.
that are not into details. They don't want to know day your day, make I day my day. As in what I mean by that is they let you run your stuff. They really don't want to know. So if it was
Yeah.
from the beginning that it was like that, then either they need professional help so that the man can be more observant of the wife. That's when they need all those counseling and stuff. But if maybe in the beginning he was very chatty, he used to pay attention to her, and things now took a downward turn as the marriage progressed, it would be good to know what triggered that. Because a man by nature is possessive. Men by
Yeah.
nature want to know what their wives are up to. They want to know if her shop is not open. They want to know. Men by nature are possessive. So if he's no longer having that sense of possessiveness over you and lets you run the show, and it wasn't always so from the beginning, something has gone amok. So I cannot put a finger to it, but if I can, if I can draw from last week's, what do I do? When the woman said, my husband said he has lost trust for me. That kind of scenario, if it's not properly handled, it can it can deteriorate to happening now.
Yeah.
Also, if the
Yeah.
man, now this is where I'm thinking like a woman, if man has started to play away match, there is a side chick chicking him, that might also be the reason why he doesn't care. And he's like, okay, well, somebody that I am being a man to. So you already not, I don't have that much
Yeah.
left for you. So that's why I see things pop up in my head. Now, what
Yeah.
does she need to do? I think she should start with a conversation.
I agree.
You know, sit the man down in a nice, you know, I know we talk about women taking their husbands, men taking their husbands, men taking their wives out. Take your husband out and then have that conversation. I think we have another call coming in. Hello. Okay, I'll
So this
go
is what
ahead. We
I
just lost that call. Go on.
yeah. So this is what I think. When she said her husband has lost all respect for her, so does that mean that so that statement means to me that so there used to be
Mm-hmm.
respect,
Some
but now
respect, yeah.
is yeah, but now it's lost. So what actually happened? How did you lose value?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I want to say is this, right? I always tell women to befriend themselves. Your spouse, your partner cannot be everything to you. It's okay
Mm-hmm.
to have friends. It's okay to have your tribe. If you have your
Mm-hmm.
tribe, you'll be gisting, talking to them and everything. And you are saying your husband doesn't ask you about his day and everything. If he doesn't ask you, you tell him. Come back and tell him, oh, hi, honey, do you know what happened to me in shop today? Somebody even came, tell him. By the time you've told him on day one, day two, day three, I'm sure by day four, he will want to reciprocate and tell you
Well, the way you
maybe this.
tell him also matters, and the kind of
Yeah,
man also matters. So, a
yeah,
woman is telling a story of what happened in the office. She would start off saying, I was in the office today and I met Mike. Mike is our cleaner. Mike is married to Joanne. Joanne has one bad eye. They're no longer talking about Mike. A woman tells a story in a wave
yeah,
form.
differently. Yeah,
Whereas a man, if he wanted to talk about the colleague, he'll say, I saw Mike today and Mike did this. So I think, so men,
we
like
are
I always say on
wired
this show, correct
differently.
me if I'm wrong. Correct me, oh, I stand corrected. But men like you to tell the story and stay on that
Get
story.
straight to the point. But we
Don't
are
give
wired
me,
differently.
yeah.
We are wired differently. So
So,
of course,
yeah.
so you need to understand that. You need to understand that our disposition as men and women are different, right?
Mm-hmm.
This book, men are from Mars, men are from Venus, right? We are different. The way we see things, the way we approach issue, the way we rationalize things is so different. So of course, when I want to tell you a story that if you are telling me, you take maybe like 5 minutes. I can use 15 minutes to tell you because I'm going to tell you how it happened step by step. I'm going to make sure I don't miss anything. And that's the beauty of being a woman. If you ask
Well,
me,
for me,
right?
what I do, if I'm telling a story, the way I would tell that story to my sister won't be the way I'll tell it to a man. Because or let me just say my sister, any woman, because we understand gist, we know how to, you know, put the
Yeah,
backstory, the front story, the side story. As a matter of fact, your girlfriend would appreciate it if you are bringing all those nuances to the story. But the
yeah,
man might
yeah.
get wearied out and say, this is your story, not the finish. So if you do that day one, day two, I'm just saying maybe that's why the man is no longer interested, because it's
Interested.
it sounds as if he's gossiping and he doesn't. So let me see. I think this is this man that is into relationship and marriage and all, he was saying that the wife was telling the wife, so they were somewhere and the woman wanted to talk about somebody, and she was saying the guy at talk, see what he's wearing, and he immediately turned to look at the man. So the wife now, that's why I said
Wrong
2 o'clock,
move.
no turn now with the put story, so men don't. So he has learned how to, if my wife says 2 o'clock, I don't necessarily have my full head, I just use my eye to look. So
So you
what
do
I
like
think
this
is there's work from
bombastic side eye.
there's, there's work from two sides. So this is
Yes.
my charge to couples. Men, please listen to your wife. Women, please try to early communicate, because like Savi said, your husband is no Holy Ghost. They don't have superpowers. They don't, if you give them a bombastic side eye, trust me, they don't know what it is. They're like, is there something wrong with your eye? So verbally
I know.
communicate, and hopefully our marriages will do better. So Savi, we're going to show any final words.
Yeah, it's been great, sharing with my soul sister, and I can't wait to see
Yeah,
you all
yeah.
next week. Until then, stay savvy in all things.
Right. So my special thanks goes to everyone that called on the show. We really appreciate your call, calling from different parts of Canada, from Regina, from Ontario. We appreciate your call. To our producers at the back end, making us always look seamless and beautiful. We say special thanks to you. And we will go off now, but the conversation continues offline.
Mhm.
We'll see you this time next week. As always, life is for the living. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.